Right, what we've done now is as we did with this, we've reamed out these holes slightly, which is this one there, ready to take this prong nut. The one on the inside, that's been reamed out too, ready to take this prong nut. This bolt here has been fully tightened onto the leg, so the next thing that we do is we take another 8mm bolt, and we put it onto the top section. So I'm just going to offer that up as I did with the leg, start screwing in. Jason, if you can tighten it up. So, like with the leg, the prong nut has been pulled tight, so we get the Allen key again and really tighten that up. As you can see, this prong bolt is being pulled into this piece of timber. This part of the operation is absolutely key because we need to make sure that this bolt is solid and pulled in as far as it's going to go, so it's never going to move. Now, here is the clever part. What we're going to show you now is what happens next, and this is very, very crucial. So, we take 2 more prong nuts, we take the first one, and we put it back to back onto the threaded bolt, if I can get it to go on, and we tighten that up. Now we must make sure that that's tightened up so it's really square to the back of the first one. We do the same again with the leg, so we put on the prong nut, tighten it up so that it's really tight against the back. It only needs to be finger tight against the back of the one that's already sunk into the timber. So what we do now is we're ready to offer this leg up and put it back on. So here we go. What we need to do now is position that so that that bolt goes back onto the leg and lift it up. Now you'll note that these prong bolts are just sat in between the timber. So what we do now is we take a clamp on either side. There's Jace. Yep. And we just put some pressure on that, and as you can see, it's closing up that gap. Whilst the clamps are still in place, what we then do is we put the back washer on. I just need to give that a bit of a cork. Just get this washer on, so let's give it a little bit of a tap. Closes the bolt head, and then we put this in nylock washer. Very important that they've got to be the nylock washers. And as you'll see, what we're going to do now, as we did with the other one, we're going to tighten this nut onto the steel bolt, and the net result is it will pull both the frame and the leg together. You need to make sure that you hold this dome-headed bolt with the Allen key whilst we're doing this. And that is as tight as it's going to go. If you just look in between there, you can see that the space is virtually nil. And we do the same with the bottom leg now, so we get the clamps onto the bottom leg. Right, okay, Jason. And we pull that as tight as we possibly can. Again, what we do, pop on the washer. It's gone on nicely. Put on the nylock nut. And again, we'll tension that up so that it takes up any slack in the leg. Remember what I said about holding the other end with the Allen key. You see in there, just holding that just to make sure that this bolt doesn't spin whilst I'm tightening it up. And that is how we fit the legs. Put that now. And we've done all 4 legs now. So we'll just turn the table over. see how we operate. As you'll see, that table is absolutely rock solid. It doesn't even have the centre stairs on it yet, but it's taken out all of the movement. It's absolutely solid. There'll be no lateral movement once we put these braces on the side there. But the key is, all these are tightened from both sides now, and there's absolutely no play in it. That also means that these clasps that we've got on there are going to be man enough for the job, because they're not taking any strain now. The strain's been taken from these pivot points. So I think that we're clear that all the movement's been pulled together. We've got no play because we've used a precise drill. We've made sure that the nuts and bolts are tightened up from both sides, and that's us. Okay. What we're going to do now is the problem that we saw, as we discussed before. The pivot point here, where the leg moves up, is stopped by these top lats here, with the first two on either corner. What happens is, when the movement starts, it pivots this leg and it pushes against these top two lats. So what we need to do now is, we've made the decisions that we are not going to fix from underneath anymore. You can see the fixings there that have been put in underneath, and they're grabbed into this timber. What we're going to do now is we're going to pre-drill the top 2 screws in each piece of timber all the way across, and 2 screws in each seat. The reason that we're putting them there and in these is just so it looks aesthetically right. But the very key thing is that we glue and we drill and screw these, and they've got to be drilled, pilot drilled and screwed. We're going to use, Mike, we've got a sample of it, but the screws, we'll send a sample of the screws across, the 2-inch 8. So I'll knock that off, and then when we get ready for drilling, we'll show you how we're going to do that.